Hey everybody, and welcome back to another Weather Sim forecast. And in today's forecast, we're going to be talking about a large storm that's going to be coming to the United States over the next few days. And this is going to bring a major tornado outbreak as we head into the afternoon and as well as the evening hours today, as not only does the Storm Prediction Center anticipate the potential for several strong long track EF2 tornadoes or greater as we head throughout the rest of today and even into the nighttime hours tonight. But even as we get into the next few days, we will still be tracking some severe storms even across the East Coast and as well as the Mid-Atlantic, which still could be bringing some in the way of severe weather. And then we're going to have even another storm, potentially just as strong, developing in the plains, and that could also bring another round of significant severe weather to areas of the plains. A lot of that could continue into the Midwest as we get into Monday of next week, and then just continuing eastward even into areas of the Ohio Valley. And we will talk about why in just a second, but we really need you guys to be taking today seriously, especially as today is going to be a really big day, and we will also be going over some other things in today's forecast, so make sure to stay tuned till the end so that way you guys know what to expect for the next 7 to 10 days. And we'll begin with what's happening across the United States today, and you guys can see that we do have a moderate level 4 out of 5 threat for significant severe weather across southeast Missouri, southern Illinois, southern Indiana, western and central Kentucky, extreme northern Tennessee, and even a little sliver there of northeast Arkansas will all be under the gun for widespread and significant severe weather for today. And we even got that enhanced risk around that, which even goes towards areas in West Virginia and even includes areas as far down south as Little Rock, Arkansas. And then we also got that slight risk heading from Texas all the way over there into the Mid-Atlantic, which will also be areas to keep an eye on, and we will talk about why in just a second. For the hazards for today, we do have the threat for large to very large hail. You guys can see that we do have a 30% risk for large hail in this red color, but we also got those hatch marks showing up, which is the lines going through each other, which indicates a chance for 2-inch in diameter hail or greater, meaning that we could be seeing some hailstorms the size of golf ball, baseball, even softball size potentially, guys. This is going to be a big one today. That includes areas from northeast Texas all the way up here into the Ohio Valley, where we could be seeing some storms produce as large as baseball size hail, potentially even some isolated storms producing up to softball size. So we really need you guys to be on high alert across this area, as we will really be seeing that high threat for large hail, and that even comes with an elevated tornado risk, as the latest from the Storm Prediction Center earlier this morning upgraded areas of southern Illinois, southern Indiana, central and western Kentucky, southeast Missouri, and as well as areas just to the north there of Nashville to now a 15% risk for tornadoes. And once again, that even comes with the hatch marks, which indicates a chance of EF2 tornadoes or greater across all the red color and also all the yellow color, indicating a chance for long track EF2 tornadoes or greater. So we really need you guys to be paying attention to that, as I do think today will be a very big day for tornadoes, if why not a major tornado outbreak. And then for wind, of course, I think winds are going to be the biggest concern, as that even includes areas just a little farther to the north, but also a little farther down to the south, to where we now have a 45% risk for damaging winds. And once again, that does come with those hatch marks, which includes all the red color and also all the purple color, indicating a chance of winds gusting between 60 to 70 miles per hour, with some gusts potentially even greater than that, as I do think some gusts might even gust as high as 90 miles per hour potentially in some of these storms. So we really need you guys to be prepared for today, as even a derecho could be possible this afternoon if everything sets up just right, which means widespread damaging winds between 60 to 70 miles per hour with scatter gusts even up to 90 90 miles per hour will be a high likelihood for today. So make sure you guys are getting ready for that, as I do think today will be a very big day once again. But once we get into tomorrow, this is when things start to change a little bit, as once again we will still be tracking some severe weather, not only across the southern plains but also the East Coast, especially where some severe weather may occur, including New York City. Main concern for tomorrow is going to be large hail, especially across the southern plains, where we even got a chance of 2-inch hail, and same across the coastal areas of North Carolina. We also got a threat for even an isolated spin-up tornado across the East Coast, but we also got a slightly elevated chance for a tornado or two, even back over there towards North Texas. And then for wind, I think winds are going to be the biggest concern as well, as we do have a 15% risk for damaging winds across the East Coast, but also another chance for that happening over there across North Texas, southern Arkansas, and also northern Louisiana. And then once we get into day 3, this is when things start to change, as we already got an enhanced risk for areas of central Kansas. And then once we take this forward, we already got a day 4 outlook, as you can see, across areas of the plains, and all that is going to continue eastward into areas of the Midwest, and maybe even the Ohio Valley once we get into day 6 as well, which will be something to keep an eye on very closely, as I do think next week will be a very big week for severe weather. Let's talk about why we could be seeing a major tornado outbreak today, as I do think this environment is going to be very favorable for strong and long track tornadoes. You guys can see that the latest from the ARRR model is going to show areas like Kentucky, Tennessee, even over there into southern Illinois, southern Indiana, just blowing up, and how much instability, moisture, and even wind shear we're going to have to work with, because about 4 p.m. this afternoon, we're already going to be seeing a very favorable environment for tornadoes across much of the state of Kentucky, southern Illinois, and once again, all that is even going to continue into southern Indiana, even continuing to even get stronger, as you can see, and that will just continue even as we get into the midnight hours tonight as well, which means nocturnal tornadoes will also be a possibility as well. And then I do think a lot of that will weaken once we get into tomorrow, but we still may have enough to still support a strong tornado or two even as we get into Saturday, so we will need to keep an eye on that very closely, as isolated strong tornadoes may occur even over there in eastern Kentucky, and as well as western or eastern Tennessee rather, but also western North Carolina could also be included in that. Let's talk about why we are seeing such a favorable environment by going over the thermodynamics. You guys can see that we will have 70-degree dew points. That's checked off. Energy values between about 3,000 to 4,000 joules per kilogram. That's plenty. That's also checked off. And then for wind shear, we really do need the wind shear, especially for strong tornadoes, and we're just going to have plenty of that. Just look at that. Every single level in the atmosphere is going to have plenty of wind shear to support significant severe weather, which just goes to show you that a significant tornado outbreak is looking very likely for today. The other thing that I am really concerned about for today is also flash flooding. We already got a slight risk for flash flooding across the lower Ohio Valley, but also includes areas of West Virginia, all the state of Kentucky, all the state of Tennessee, and also includes areas of the Appalachians. So we will need to keep an eye on that very closely, as some flash flooding may be possible for today. And you guys can see that for rainfall totals, we could see anywhere from 1 to 3 inches of rainfall for today with some of those storms, especially if we can get, a lot of those going, especially across northern Tennessee and as well as Kentucky. But if we take this forward, you guys can see that as we head out into next week, I think next week could be a big one, because like I said, not only do we have chances for severe weather across the plains, Midwest, and Ohio Valley, but that also comes with a chance of flash flooding. Look at this. We're talking potentially over 5 inches of rainfall across some of these areas areas, but we're especially looking for widespread amounts between 2 to 4 inches of rainfall heading from Iowa down there into Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, even over there into Ohio, West Virginia. You guys will all be under the gun for flash flooding by the time we get into the later part of next week, because you guys can see that on Wednesday next week we're going to be going from about 1 to 2 inches all the way to the end of next week to where we could be seeing over 4 inches of rain. So that just goes to show you that flash flooding will also be a possibility next week. So we really need you guys to be on high alert for that, as I do think next week will also be another big week. So make sure to subscribe to the channel, as we will continue to keep you guys up to date with the latest as we get into next week as well. But thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, as we will continue to keep you guys up to date with the latest, as I do think today is going to be a very big day for severe storms. But I think even as we get into next week, we will still have plenty of energy, moisture, and wind shear to work with, to where another big day for severe weather may happen at the beginning of next week. So now is your guys' time to prepare, as I do think this is going to be the worst of the severe weather we've seen this year so far. So consider doing that, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend out there, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Thank you all so much for watching, and goodbye.